Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Anno 1800. This is published by Cosmos Games, and it's a 2 to 4 player game. Anno 1800 is based on a video game of the same name, and has a lot of the art and look of the video game itself. So we're going to go down to the table, and I'm going to give you a general overview of the game, and then we're going to come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so this is what a typical setup of Anno 1800 might look like. Now, in Anno 1800, each player is going to get their own board, and these boards have pre-printed industries already on them, and these are the different workers that you can get throughout the game. There's several different actions you can take through the game, but first I wanted to explain some of your starting stuff. So you get these bonus cards set out. You're going to randomly set out 5. However, for the first game, and there's a decent deck of these, you're going to put out the ones that have the 3 diamonds on the top. Those are going to be recommended for your starting game. The ones with this light color here are basically just goals or points that you get at the end of the game for doing whatever. So here's the zoo. You're going to get 1 point per animal visited here. For each of the New World places, you're going to get 6 points. Here for each one of these type of resources, you'll get it for the greatest number of this type of worker. You'll get 10 points. The second most will get 4. Ties are friendly. And this one here, any of these with this color background for them, are different actions that you can take during the game, or different things you can do to break the rules of the game temporarily. This, you can spend a ton of resources basically to get another turn. You'd have to send 3 explore and 3 gold in the game to get another turn. So these are out and available for everyone. At the end of the game, those are additional scoring. The other way that you're going to score in the game is you're going to score points for each of your played cards. Now, in order to play the cards, you're going to have to meet the value on here, but once they're played, these worker type cards will give you 8 points, basic worker cards will give you 3 points, and new world cards will give you 5 points when they're out. The game will end when someone has played all the cards in their hand. If someone does that, they get the 7-point fireworks card, and the game goes over one more entire round. Once that is done, you're going to score everything up, and the person with the highest score wins. Now, one other little caveat, which probably won't be a big deal because you're going to be using gold like crazy throughout the game. It's more valuable for basically recalling a single worker and stuff like that than it is for endgame scoring. Each 3 gold is worth 1 point. That's all the scoring for the game, and that's your goal to win. Your goal to win is going to be placing as many cards as you can, getting as many bonuses as you can here. And I did forget about these guys right here. You can also score with those. That's the final thing that I did forget about. So you're going to try to be able to fulfill as many of these as possible, which we'll go over those in a second. So throughout the game, I believe you have 9 different actions that you can take. The different actions that you can take is you can basically build anything that's over here. So if you wanted to build, what you would do is you would take a look at your board. So at the beginning, you have all these pre-printed resources on your board already. And the color here is the color cube, so the cube up here, that you would use to get that resource. There is another way, which will also have these guys right here, to get your resource that you need, other than pulling your workers down to use them, is you can use these trade icons. And what you need to do for the trade icons is look at these workers here, and this one's going to be any industry on an opponent's board that takes a green worker is going to cost you 1 trade, blue 1 trade, red 2 trade, and purple 3 trade. And you can be looking at resources that you don't have that your opponent has and be able to use them to build things or do different things. But if you do, the opponent will gain a gold and you'll get the resource. You can't refuse a trade. This is just basically how the boards work out. So you're going to be paying attention to what the other players are building. But for example, if I wanted to build, let's say, this coal production plant, then I need to be able to produce a wood. So I'll put a worker here, and now I have a coal production plant. Now, rules for placing stuff down is you can't have two of the same resource producing buildings unless they use different workers. That's the only time that you can do that. Now I can place this anywhere on this row, or this row. That's the rules for these guys. Now I can place over a pre-printed board if I want, or I can place it over here, or I can place it over a industry that is already there. If I do that, then this actually the one that I replaced gets returned to the board. Any workers that were on that one just get set off to the side. You won't get your workers back at the end of the game until you do a special action, and that is going to be celebrate a festival. When you celebrate a festival, all your workers and all your spent trade and exploration chits go back to on the board, so you basically refresh everything. And you're not going to want to do that very often because that's sort of just that's your turn. That's what you'll be doing. I'll leave that guy down there. Other things you can do is you can play a card from your hand. And if you're going to play a card from your hand, you're going to look through. And, oh, I did forget to mention, at the beginning of the game, you're going to get 4 farmers, 3 of these laborers, and 2 of the, were they engineers or whatever, but 2 of the red cubes. You're going to look at these cards, and the color of the cards right there. If your color's on there, you draw one of those cards. So I have 2 of these and 7 of these. And on the other side, they're going to have different resources required to be able to play them. Now, when I play them down, they'll go face up. And this is the amount of points no matter what at the end of the game. They also help you build your engine. Like this one here, whenever I want, I can get 2 blue workers. And I will also get the cards for them. And then I would flip this over the side, but it would remain down. So should I use the action? And there's all sorts of different benefits that you can get. Like this one here will give you 3 trade tokens that you can use. This one here gives you one of the purple artisans. This gives you 2 of the blue workers. This one gives you 1 of the engineers. This one's going to give you 5 gold. This one, oh, I remember the letter thing. I think it's another turn. This one gives you another turn. And this one here, you can discard 2 cards from your hand. This one here is really good because it's 8 points, but also it helps get, if you want to control the end of the game, you can use this one here, which is really nice. That's playing cards from your hands. The other things you can do is you can get workers. And the way that you're going to get workers is if you want to get like a farmer, or you want to get a just a laborer or an engineer, you have to pay basically the building cost for their house, which is listed on the top here. So if I want another farmer, I'm going to pay a wood. When I do that, so let's say I don't have a wood right now. So let's say I recalled for the festival for some reason. I go down here. Oh no, I had 2 spots, right? So right here, I paid for a wood. I get another one of these cards, and I get a green worker. Now, if this deck ever runs out, I also have to pay a gold to be able to get that worker. Same with this deck. For 3 gold, I'd have to pay to get another worker. This is nice because this gives you more cubes to put out and lengthens the time before you have to do the festival to return everyone to the board. Other things that I just wanted to point out real quick that you can build that have rules in them is ships have to be down here, and ships can only be placed. There's a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3 ship. You have to have a harbor that can handle them. So right now I can only build level 1 ships. But if I build this level 2 harbor or this level 3 harbor, which have to go in this row down here, I can build the level 2 or level 3 ships. Now, and those ships will go down here. Now, unlike the other industries that you build on here, you can have duplicates of ships and harbors. You're allowed to do that. So other things that you can do or actions you can take throughout the game is you can explore the old or new world. If you explore the old or the new world, they cost the same. So this one here is going to, to the first time you do either of them, it's going to cost you 1 exploration, which you would take off of here. If you do it again, it's 2 exploration. Third time's 3 exploration. Fourth time's 4 exploration to do it. And you have to, and you can only have up to 4, and then when you flip them, you have to place them over here. They'll have a reward on them, like this one here. All the new old world will have a reward on here. It gives you free industry. Some of them give you cool stuff, like here gives you a free artisan. Here gives you 2 farmers. This one gives you 2 exploration cards. So you can get different things throughout there, but you're going to do that and basically extends your board. The other thing you can do is you can explore the new world, and if you explore the new world, you're going to get this cool handy dandy token, and you'll get these resources. Now these resources can't be traded with other players. They can't get these, only you. But however, you're not going to use people to get these resources. You're going to use trade tokens. And these resources that are on there, that I think there's 6 different ones, can only be gotten from the new world. So you're going to want to explore it a little bit to be able to get some of these resources, to get some of the bigger things out on the board. The other thing you can do is you can spend 2 money to get 3 of these cards. Now these cards right here, what they're going to do is at the end of the game, you're going to need to have workers to place out on these. And for every time you place a worker out on these, which they will remain, so you have to have enough workers to cover all these cards if you want all the points, you'll get points. So the red workers are 2, blue workers are 2, light blue workers are 3, purple 2. So the points that are shown underneath is points you're going to get for covering these over. Also, I did forget to mention, when you get these new world tokens, you'll actually get 3 of these cards also. A couple of other things that you can do on your turn is you can upgrade your workers. To upgrade your workers, you're going to pay the resource right here to move the worker up. When you move the worker up, so I'm going to convert it to a blue, that's it. You don't get another card. You don't upgrade your cards. You don't. So this is okay, and it's nice in a pinch, but you're not going to get the card that's going to give you points when you convert and play them down. Oh, sorry. I did mess this up. So when you get the new world, you're going to get 3 of the new world cards. They're worth a ton. They're worth 5 points, and they do different things on here, but you'll get 3 new world people when you get that, not the Explorer tokens. You'll get the Explorer cards only by doing that action. Another thing that I didn't mention that you can do is you can take a look at your hand and be like, wow, I am never going to be able to do that. So you can take up to 3 of your cards, place them on the bottom of the respective decks, and draw that many from the top. So you can basically swap your cards. You are going to continue doing these different actions throughout the game until someone runs out of cards. At that point, you'll finish the current round. You'll start and do one last round, and at that point, you'll score, and the person with the highest score wins. The game comes with a really cool, handy-dandy reference guide, so you can take a look at this. It goes all your actions, your expand, your play active population cards, your swap population cards, increase the workforce, upgrade, open up the new world, explore the new world, all sorts of stuff. As I'll explain on this nice little thing. I'm probably going to laminate these ones because this is the component quality on this game is awesome. I love it, but these reference sheets are just a sheet of paper. So if I laminate it, they'll last longer. So I'll probably do that. That's my only complaint on component quality on the game. Other than that, it's amazing. So let's go ahead back up the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on Anno 1800. So I really, really like Anno 1800. I really like the building up of your settlement to be able to produce goods and upgrade those goods, and having to think through like how to complete those population cards and get them out of your hand, whether you want to keep getting population cards to keep collecting points throughout the game, or you want to try to control the end of the game a little better and get that 7 fireworks card. So you might have some people that are trying to race towards the end of the game. You might have some people that are just trying to maximize their points throughout the game. So completing those, you need to pay attention to what the opponents are building so that you may be able to capitalize them on them and not necessarily have to build that resource to complete your different population cards. You want to think about exploring the old world and new world to get exploring the new world to get those new people. exploring the old world to expand your board and be able to build more industries and place them on the board or ships or whatever you need. And then you also have to balance that out with getting those expedition cards and getting the points from just having population of certain types, which is also super helpful in the game. So there's a lot of things that you have to think about in this game. And there's a lot of replayability in this game too, because I mean the old world tiles and the new world tiles, when you flip them you get different things, but it's really in how other people play the game too, because you're going to be paying attention to those player boards and how they're progressing through the game. So your strategies will depend and change on what other people are doing, which I really like. And as another bonus of this game is how interactive it is for having like a, you know, all intents and purposes, a solitary board. It is very important to know what the people are doing, so you're actually watching them on their turn. You're like, what are you building? What are you doing? Can I use that? Can that help me out? So you're shuffling through your own card. You're very invested in what they're doing. And I like that a lot. There's a lot of games like this that aren't like that, and I think a lot is lost. But this makes the game that is wonderful, how much I was finding myself engrossed in what other people were doing, not just what my own engine's going to be. Also, component quality in this game is awesome. Very high quality. I liked it a lot. No complaints there. Only minor complaint at all is just setup time. It takes a bit to put out all those different industries on the pretty much tech board. Other than that, that's it. If you are looking for a really good sort of hand management, industry building game, where you're going to try to build out all your tableau. Basically, if you liked what you saw in the overview, I would highly recommend playing this game and checking it out. And that's my thoughts on Anno 1800. Thank you for watching.